Hello there, I'm Scotty, you're not. And welcome back to the... hold on. There we go. Welcome back to the Smallville Retrospective. We're on Season 2, Episode 14, Rush. Yes. I hope I'm naming this right. Hold on. Numbering, I should say. Numbering it right. 17, so 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah, 13. Okay. So we're on 14. 14. Rushed. And I suppose you can sort of equate this to the episode from Season 1 called Nicodemus. Someone gets affected by something and start acting irrationally and differently. It's kind of like that, but a bit different. There is a rave in the Kawachi Caves. And Pete is hit by something. We don't know what yet. But we also find there's someone else there who's acting different, jumping off things, and dies. And we find out later that 2 other people at the rave also contracted a similar diagnosis. Pete is starting to act very strangely, more erratically, trying to go get all kinds of rushes, so to speak. And Clark starts to worry about him. In the B plot, after an encounter with Clark in the caves, wherein Clark shows him a book by Frederick Walden, Lex then hires said author to investigate the caves, but he has one strict rule: no one is allowed in there. Well, after the rave, Lex hires security, but only Clark Kent is allowed in, besides him. But when Walden takes over, he says no one but him is allowed in, and Lex acquiesces to it, for now. During the second time that Clark goes into the caves, Chloe is hit by something behind the wall. We've seen that got Pete too. Find out it is a parasite that feeds on your adrenal gland. It makes you do those weird things, and eventually you do something so far off the beaten path that you die doing it. Which is what Clark is afraid is going to happen to Pete. Before all this, though, Clark, in the part of the episode I don't really care for, Clark asks Lana out. That's not what I don't care for, but it leads to something. Clark asks Lana out on a date. Finally, he's ready to go. And of course, wouldn't you know it, it goes downhill. He eventually realizes that this whole thing trying to stop Pete is going to take him, wait, so he cancels the date. But this is after Chloe's already been infected. And Chloe, he has a talk, it makes you, it messes with you and makes you go more than you would. Kind of like what Greg Kryptonite would do to Clark, which we'll get to. But, yeah, and Chloe, of course, wants Clark. But, this episode always surprises me on the boundaries they went to with this. This is just one that it was kind of risque with what they do, but I understand why they had to kind of do it. But it's so. Clark shows up and cancels the date with Lana, saying that something's going on with Pete and he could die. After he says this, though, Pete and Chloe walk in and Pete says he's absolutely fine. And they kind of, they being Chloe and Pete, kind of make it seem like Clark was lying, Clark doesn't help when he's like, Chloe, we're supposed to meet at your house. And I'm like, well, that doesn't help your situation, But Pete puts red kryptonite in Clark's little pocket on his blue flannel shirt. This kind of shows the negative impact of Pete knowing Clark's powers, because now that Pete is unhinged, unfiltered, and everything, and there's a scene where there twice in this episode, Pete could have died. Pete is standing on top of a car. He jumps down in front of a semi truck, and this was interesting. So Pete jumps down in front of the semi truck. Clark super speeds him out of the way, and then the truck stops, and you hear it stop, and people get out. And then there's someone standing in the shadows next to the truck, and I swear it looked like Michael Myers. I'm like, is this a Halloween? From behind, it looked like Michael Myers. The shape of him, like Michael Myers. But yeah. And then I was like, come on, we gotta go. And he's like, no, you move one more step, I'll tell everyone your secret. And he moves, he's like, he's an alien, he's an alien, my best friend's an alien, he's an alien, my best friend is an alien. And you know, that, of course, I don't think anyone believes him because it doesn't go anywhere, there's no news thing. But that's when he goes to talk to Chloe, and then the whole Chloe thing happens, and he puts red kryptonite. So, instead of, I understand why they did it, because it's easier for it to, then they'll figure out a way to stop it, you know. They put a little piece of red kryptonite. Where Pete got it, I don't know, unless it's from his ring. He broke the ring and took it out, but he put it in there. Although I thought they all returned them all. I don't know. In his little pocket, which turns him into Red Clark, basically. And Red Clark in this episode, so I forgot about this part, but they go back to Clark's barn, and that's where Clark tells Chloe his secret. He has Pete hit him with a baseball bat that breaks into pieces, and then he lights a lantern on fire, which I understand he's unhindered right now, but unhindered is the word. But you could have set more on fire than that. Well, I guess you're still technically in control. Did you know? So, and then Chloe jumps off the banister and he catches her, and that's when Lex walks in. And she's like, does he know? He's like, no, I don't tell people that lie to me my secret, or something like that. And he and Lex have sort of an argument, and this is never really resolved. He's like, I'm gonna go in those caves anytime I want to, and he walks off with them. And I'm like, but this never gets resolved. By the end of the episode, Lex talks to Walden, and it's like, Clark Kent is allowed in those caves whenever he wants. And I'm like, there's no after conversation where he's talking to him. I was expecting after everything goes down, there's like, he has a talk with Chloe, and Chloe talks with Lana, and then you see, go back to the mansion. I'm thinking, oh, Clark's going to walk in and apologize. But no, it's Walden. And I'm like, but there's no wrap-up scene with him and with Clark and Lex. It's just left up in the air. I don't know if there's a deleted scene or anything, but they're in Pete's car, which is now blue for some reason, even though it was red before. I don't know. Chloe goes through many cars too, because she had a different car in last episode, and by season 4 she has a Volkswagen. I don't know. But I don't know. But they're driving. Chloe and Peter in the front, and Pete's like, Chloe's like, what powers do you have? And he's like, you come back here and I'll show you. And they start making out, and I'm like, wow, I forgot about this part. Like, they're just going to town. And then he's like, hey, can we make a pit, or Chloe's like, can we make a pit stop on the way to the gorge, or whatever they're gonna try to jump? He's like, where? She's like, Talon. And of course they're gonna make out in front of Lana. They are making out, but then the person tells them to stop. But then they decide to play strip poker with no cards. And so she takes Clark's shirt off, and that's when the red kryptonite stops working, and he freaks out. Now, she just breaks off all the buttons. So he just puts his jacket back on, and she kisses him again. Lana walks up, and she's like... Now, she has an argument later where she's like, well, I know why Chloe kissed you, but why'd you kiss her back? And clearly, in the one scene that she saw, only Chloe was kissing him, because that was not... He wasn't infected anymore. When they were infected, yes. Like, maybe the waitress told her, you know, but from what she saw, it was only that. I don't know. Because I didn't like this whole thing that was going on. It's a part of the will they, won't they thing in TV shows where they have to keep, oh, we're going to have them go out, and then something happens. Like Ross and Rachel finally get together, but then Ross makes the list, and that breaks them apart. Then they get together, and then they go on a break after. Look, I'm not going to try to explain this. I could do a whole video, actually, on why Ross was right. Not to sleep with someone else, but they were on a break. They were on a break. Plain and simple. And why Ross is not completely at fault for their relationship breaking apart. I could do a whole video on that. But I would just say this. Ross was right. But when you do will they, won't they stuff, you have to keep pushing back more than you can keep moving forward. So he asked her on a date, but then they have to have this problem. So they can't just go out because, as they say on the Talk About podcast, they get together, show's over. But not really, because Lana's not endgame. And that's another reason why this will they, won't they doesn't work, because they do so much of the will they, won't they with Lana and Clark and Lana, and you know that Clark is destined to be with Lois. Now, Lois is a whole other beehive, bee's nest, hornet's nest in this franchise, in this series, to be honest, which I'll get to when we get to season 4, because I have my own opinions on that. But anyway, so yeah, so now he's going to try to stop him, and he does exactly what they wanted to do before, where they jump and he catches them, you know? And so they jump the ravine is what it is, and he catches the car, and he's like, Clark, do it again, let's do it again. But then they're taken to the hospital, and the parasite is taken out, which I don't understand why he never explains the parasite to Lana. Because when he broke up the date, he should have said, there's something going on with Pete. There's some kind of parasite down in the caves, and it got to him last night when he was there at the rave. That's why he's been acting strange. And then with Chloe, he could have explained it too. She was kissing me. She was all because of the parasite. You know, she got infected too. That sort of thing. And later, they found out to be true. So, you know, I don't know. But there's no other Clark and Lex scene after this. So, it's confusing. But yeah, Clark and Lana are not so on good terms. He apologizes and she doesn't want to hear it. And then there's one last talk, you know, conversation, where he gives her, brings a pizza and a rose. And he gives her the rose. She's like, Clark, I know why Chloe kissed you. Why'd you kiss her back? And again, what she saw was only Chloe kissing him, not the other way around. But I don't know. Maybe I missed it. Maybe he was. I don't know. I can't deny that there's feelings between them still. You know, they did try, but I don't know. Clearly, he'll always go for Lana, because yeah, but I don't know. This one kind of went down for me. I thought this was a better one, but I'm gonna give it 3 Superman logos out of 5. I think it's okay. Just some of that stuff cut me off guard because I forgot that happened. But you know, not really much else going on in this episode. But we're about to get another pinpoint landmark episode with this is where, you know, some things have to be explained and yet aren't explained and other stuff. So I think this is the next episode. If not, then I'm just an idiot. But anyway, thank you for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one. And back. Yeah, and where we started, right? Okay, bye.